No, my Dota died.
What?
Oh no, it's back. It's back. It's okay.
Alright, alright.
Radiant team back.
There we go. Everything's as it should be. I'm sure nothing was wrong. Draft's already half over here. Vengeful Spirit and Leshrac actually picked up a Penta Sports towards the Disruptor and Earth Spirit from Team Kinguin. So, very interesting opener here already.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
another cool thing is that Penta, that's not the first time they run this Leshrac, and it's not the first time they run it against Kinguin. Less than a day ago, these two teams faced up against each other in the MDL qualifiers in a similar situation here, single elimination, best of 3 semifinals, and that's also the pick that they opened with together with a Brewmaster, which has been banned out this time around. So Kinguin,
Radiant
well, they have a
team
history up against Penta. They want some revenge. They want to grab at least one of these other tournaments if they can't get MDL. So we'll see how it works out, whether they can get that or whether Penta Sports will repeat their performance here.
Yeah, it's been actually kind of crazy. These two teams have been facing off a lot. I think
10
it's
seconds
Penta that's been
remaining.
playing a little bit more than Team Kinguin has, I think.
5 seconds
Um,
remaining.
yeah.
And so it's kind of been showing, like Penta's been kind of on this roll. And they won that best of 3 yesterday, and maybe last night. I don't know. But it was yesterday, and it looked pretty good. Looked pretty good from them. Team Kinguin opened up with the Earth Spirit, one of their favorite picks. They really like to play that, but I don't know how. I mean, from the casting side, I know like the patch is about a week and a half old. How's it felt casting in 7.0?
It's pretty good. I
06
mean, there's a lot
or
of more
7?
action going on, especially in the early game. You see this new early game develop, or even just the first minutes when both teams don't spread out across like their own 2 bounty runes, but focus on one side of the map because the bounty runes are now so close to each other, and that sometimes leads to teams just trying to find new paths through the jungle, trying to catch somebody off guard, and yeah.
Yeah, I've been feeling kind of the same way about it. I'm a little confused on how the bounty runes work, and I think it's a lot easier to bait teams into thinking like, oh, they stack their heroes on one side of the map, so we can go for this other bounty rune on the other side, and then it turns out that there's actually 3 of them, and then of course once those bounty runes starts, that's when the gifted TP on the cooldown expires, so you're able to rotate pretty quickly over to the other side of the map. I know that a lot of mid laners have been doing that to help them with their block, but yeah, it's been kind of crazy with those boundary rune changes. I think that it's definitely benefited more so the supports because they're able to steal those bounty runes from the offlane a lot easier.
Yep.
I think those early game bounty runes are pretty important, but we're going to end the second phase of the picking order, and we have a puck from Kinguin. Do you think this is offlane or a mid puck?
That's always the question, is it? I mean, Puck is a
10
flex
seconds
pick.
remaining.
You can't, you don't necessarily have to decide right now. You can just see what Penta wants to throw out, and then you decide where you want to run him.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
You also have
Maybe
in this draft. You also have one of the counter picks already here with the Disruptor. So, how does Penta respond to this Puck pick?
I mean, it's hard just because Earth Spirit and Puck have been a very solid combination for the last few months. And before the new patch, it's been pretty strong. You hold them down, and it's a lot of control, a lot of silence that you can throw into the other team, which is pretty detrimental for a hero like Leshrac. And also, like you said, it keeps their lanes open. So, in case Penta maybe want to flex this, I mean, Lesh and Venge are 2 really strong flex picks. They can go mid lane, they can go carry, they can go support. Both of them can go support, so it's a pretty scary dual support roaming combo, but they're going to go with the Sand King. So it makes me think that this is a Core Lesh. Did they play Core Lesh yesterday? Was it that?
Let me double check. It was RMN on the support Leshrac, I believe.
10 seconds
All right, so they're probably going to keep it the same, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that's where it's most suited to. But, Core Venge is more established than support Venge is at this point, but Leshrac, I feel like having these kind of squishy spellcasters is always a little bit dangerous to run as a core role because you don't have any defensive utility whatsoever based just on his skill set. Even your stun is very long cast time. It can be dodged very easily here if you ride on top of the Lash. So he's always going to be vulnerable. Right? Even if you start building a few defensive items, and then you kind of miss out on amplifying up your spell damage and whatnot. So running him as a support, you kind of take away the gravity of that. Like if he gets killed, sure, or whatever, he gets killed. He's not a 1, 2, or 3 position.
Yeah, he kind of can play like the same role as a Shadow Shaman, where he's able to push out waves really quickly and then take towers. So this Diabolic Edict, if you go for that build. So I agree. I know that I think it's Complexity has tried to run it Leshrac. I know for most teams across all the regions are not running Leshrac, which is kind of sad for the Disco Pony. He's been kind of thrown wayside since TI5.
Yeah.
Just getting completely nerfed down, but. Yeah, I think I agree. It's probably better run as support, and the Sand King Leshrac combo is a very, very old school, all the way from Dota 1 combination of the double stuns. But Lone Druid for Team Kinguin for their 4th pick, and to the Darkseer.
Yeah, this is very Penta draft. I mean, starting with the Leshrac and then going back for the Darkseer. And Darkseer Sand King combination as well. So wouldn't be too surprised to see some dual lanes come out and then still pick up a last hero for Oliver in mid. There's still a couple of his ones in the pool, even going back to something like a CK if they really want that.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot from some of the pros that they have mixed feelings about Darkseer, that he's not very strong. The way all the nerfs in terms of how into or like how expensive the what's it called? How expensive Iron Shell is, and just kind of some of the difficulties in the offlane, I think, and how it's changed. It's kind of been a dead hero in some ways, which is kind of sad because he's one of the more staple, like signature offlane heroes that he's been for a while now. He's kind of fallen off, but I think it can work here. They have a lot of combinations with their Sand King, with the Vacuum, Bureau Strike, or Vacuum. What is it? The Leshrac stun. So they can work around with a lot of their AoE combination, and they're definitely going to need some kind of healer against the high burst magic damage from the Puck and the Earth Spirit. So they have a natural pipe carrier, natural mech carrier. It's pretty good. I'm worried that it might struggle if this is a safe lane Lone Druid. It might struggle a little bit against it, just because if you're in range form, you can keep that Iron Shell away, and then if you're getting zoned out by Disruptor Earth Spirit, then once the bear gets high enough levels, then he doesn't really care about Iron Shell. So I'm worried that this Darkseer might struggle a little bit in lane, but the combination is there for Penta as they come in for the last pick.
Oh yeah,
Aceless Void. What are your thoughts?
Oh, there it is. Not the most classic combo here, with like the Sand King Darkseer being more melee focused. Also with the combos, just make sure that they end up right on top of the enemies. So it might be a little bit harder to get the Chronosphere on target, but then again, you still have the Leshrac for the follow-up. You have Vengeful Spirit who can provide that extra bit of damage. And I do like it, just having that really solid control beyond your Vacuum combos is gonna be amazing up against the Puck, and later on Exotic Deer as well. If you manage to catch him out when he cannot fight you with a spear next to him, then can actually kill that Lone Druid quite easily. So Penta Sports, they have that late game kind of insurance in that sense, and they also have, with that Faceless Void, a very strong type of control also for the mid game that they're looking for. Early and mid game, this is where they're gonna look to just get the ball rolling and then never really stop. So it's gonna be down to Kinguin to try and slow them down with the Earth Spirit rolling in, with Nisha getting off the ground on a Puck, and obviously Exotic Deer just trying to hit his farming targets, but I'm not entirely sure whether they'll have enough time to make that happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult. I mean, Chrono is a very long cooldown, so if they're able to, make it out a couple fights, or if they only get one pick off and they're able to keep farming, just because Lone Druid, I would imagine Lone Druid would get a Midas at some point. I've heard some rumors that some Lone Druids are actually skipping Midas, but I think that's still kind of more of the popular build. But Doombringer obviously is going to bring in a lot of his, natural gold income with the Devour. So I think they're going to be able to keep up and farm. As we see, the classic pro pause.
Well, gotta make sure that everything's set up properly.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to see Penta play, though. I mean, they have a very unique style, as evidenced here by the heroes that they pick, and it's working well for them.
For sure.
They're trendsetters. They don't just follow what other teams do. They just figure out their own stuff, and they've been getting better and better. They're playing against OG next in MDL qualifiers later today or tomorrow, I believe, something like that. And,
Yeah, I have a lot of good feelings about Penta. Both Penta and Kinguin. I think these are two teams that have the highest chance to break out of that kind of tier 2 ladder and make it through these qualifiers. And OG actually has been recovering in some ways in terms of their form. I know that they dropped in form towards
quite
the
a
new
bit,
patch.
yeah.
But I think they've been recovering a little bit nicely, slowly and slowly. But that's kind of how OG is. You know, the new patch hits, they kind of struggle a little bit. But then they come back. So I'm looking forward to how when they figure that out. But both teams going through the invasion.
Find the bear already. Teddy bear here, so I believe that Polish name is called. Actually, stuck inside a tree. Still to get the stun on the actual lone to it.
Oh, the bear's
That's the
stuck?
bear, yeah. He is stuck. He cannot get out unless Exotic
this
Deer
feels
comes in and
bad.
eats a tree. But yeah, that's a lot of gold, even more than the hero if it wasn't for the first blood bounty. So plus 300. Actually ended up getting that Oliver, I believe.
Plus 300.
Yeah, he is the extra net worth now. So Penta got off to a good start here.
Yeah, that's pretty nice for them. That's 75 XP for each of the heroes, and that's almost halfway to level 2.
Yeah.
So it feels good, man. It feels good.
Didn't even consider the experience. I mean, you get much less from low-level heroes these days, right? So the bear, giving that much is actually also going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these heroes are, well, actually, for the most part, most of these heroes have kill potential at level 1, so level 2 is not as big a deal for them. As mid lane, just gonna be, I can just be walking up there.
Yeah, this mid lane is actually gonna be a bit interesting. We didn't really think about it in the draft with the Faces Void pick, but this is actually a mid Darkseer. You don't have any of the classics here if you don't want to run a Shrek there, but he's gonna get a lot of harassment thrown at him here with Disruptor spending some time to throw out the Thunderstrike. So what's the aim here after behind these lanes? I mean, obviously you have that aggro lane, so Exotic Deer is not really going to get any farm whatsoever. If Faces Void in a safe lane here, and with the creeps meeting close to the tower, he should still be doing alright.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were just trying to match up the best lanes as possible. They didn't. Oh, as
yeah, Berserk follow. He is dead, so not only does he lose the bear, he's also going to lose his life, and even if he comes back to lane now, he's not going to have the Spur Brayer for another 80 seconds.
Oh my god. Exotic Deer's not having the greatest game.
Yeah.
I think he's right now, he's like sitting in the base trying to talk to his team, like, alright, where can we go? And I'm like, oh, just go back bottom.
Yeah.
Darkseer, boogie mid, falling.
He does get run down.
Alright,
so basically, Darkseer is still in the offlane role, except this time it's in mid. He's not having a fun time.
Essentially. I mean, it's kind of hard for Kinguin right now. They're both figuring out what they're trying to do, and there's now they're switching the lanes, and oh my god.
Look at this tower though! 3 range creeps, 1 or 2 edict charges, that's down to 300 health points already, we're not even 2 minutes into the game. What I was talking about.
You see these shenanigans, and you know your 1v1 mids, and that Leshrac pick just, you know, runs to the bottom lane and just hides in the trees and wins the game automatically with a diabolic edict, but this is crazy. This is the power of the Leshrac pushing.
Yep.
As we're gonna get a pause and catch up just a tiny bit.
When do you think you can lane against this? I mean, Doom, he is level 2, almost level 3, so you can start putting the 2 points on the Scorched Earth. He's not as susceptible as Exotic Deers at this point, but still gotta be careful not to go too far away from your tower, because this is a very scary tri lane at this point. Level 3 on Sand so you have the stun, as well as some extra DPS from the Sandstorm, you have the follow from the Leshrac, as well as from the Vengeful Spirit, so it's a lot of damage output between these 3 heroes.
Yeah.
That being said though, Sand King has a haste ring, making his way towards middle lane here. Level Sash, gonna be stunned up. Nice Savage Roll though. Keep them away, Kinetic Fields, and actually catch DNZ, but roll through from Katzor. They're gonna turn this around, but Sandstorm, they have no detection against this. And Level Sash gonna be careful not to die to damage over time.
Yeah, stay out of the do-do-do. That's not the disco rave party you want to be in.
Yeah. So actually put the puck up top. Give Exotic Deer this matchup.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it.
I mean, it's a better matchup for them. It's not the lanes that they necessarily wanted. Kinguin thought that they were gonna, that Penta was gonna run a more standard lanes with the Venge carry top and the Darkseer bottom, so that's why they had the Lone Druid bottom. But I guess Penta understood that that's what Kinguin thought, that they were gonna get those standard lane matchups, so they switched it up. So they gave them the advantage. Now now Kinguin has more of what they thought that they should have here. But yeah, bottom lane, Patos feeling a little
Run down.
worse for wear right here.
Oh man, I see this way back through the trees. A lot of damage being done here between the Infernal Blade and the Thunderclap. Trying to TP out with a stun. Whoa. Barely enough. Although right click would have done a trick. Oliver helping out his teammate there. He's low on health himself. Now TP in from Alistar. Shots of the kinetic field, keeping him in. DNZ coming in to try and help the oh, the stun to finish off the Doom hero. Verifier Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Oliver barely keeping himself alive. Either that or the snake or something. Just given that these extra full health points, more time for DNZ to come in for the Warrior Strike.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. For a second, I thought that maybe Oliver might have gotten a little greedy and trying to finish off the tower and not help out his Leshrac there. But then it's like, oh no, he didn't finish the tower. It's going to be a disaster. But they turned it around pretty nicely. Yep. So well played. Well played for Penta there. Good teamwork.
Boogie, he's in with the top.
Oh,
Nisha.
Invis, Ion Shell. All the bashes.
Should be able to make it out with the orb, but damn. That's a lot of damage on a short duration. So 9. We'll have a little bit of extra space up here.
I remember the good old days of Ricky Darkseer.
Oh man.
Some good Dota back then. They're gonna roll in mid.
Auctions, that's what
so
I
we're
was.
just saying hi.
Is
Nisha in trouble?
He's fine. He has another orb available. Actually use it aggressively here. Bouncing onto Boogies, bottling up in the meantime. He's being forced to commit to this here. Alistar should decide they're gonna get this kill. So maybe we're extending a little bit on the stocks here. Our men will be happy. They'll take it over mid for a little bit, soaking some experience. Bottom tower though, it's already dead. Look at that. That's even before the catapult wave. That is so crazy, and this is why I love watching Penta. They always come up with this kind of stuff. Boogie again though, in a bit of trouble. Kinetic field spam in mid. Always a bit of danger here, but Exotic Deer, level 4 himself, doesn't have the biggest damage output just yet. Alright, so what do you do now? You kind of won this bottom lane so heavily on Penta. Where do you go next?
I mean, I think you still need to farm just a tiny bit. They already have a small advantage. Is it mid lane? Yep, no, Boogie's going to be fine. Exotic Deer is going to need to catch up. He actually has to go in and buy a lot of consumables with the infused raindrops in the whole Magic one, so he's going to be just a tiny bit delayed on his Midas timing. Actually, he already has the Gloves of Haste, almost halfway to the hand of recipe, so he's caught up pretty nicely, but I still think for Penta, you need to farm it a little bit. You need your Blink on your Sand King, perhaps. Maybe your Mask of Manas, which is what Oliver is going for, but Oliver might be in a little bit of trouble bottom lane.
Stun connects, roll as well, Patos. He gets stunned up himself, so no Infernal Blade. Did extra damage, Oliver. Already decently tanky at level 5 with the Strength Threads. Also getting some help rotated in. Arman, he was looking to make something happen with DNZ in the middle lane, but couldn't quite find the angle. Instead, he's back in the bottom. Patos still sitting around on the side, actually, before he TP's out towards top. But 9 at this point also not the easiest target to bring down unless you have like higher levels of silences or whatnot. So overall, I want to say these lanes working out decently for Penta. Even the Starkseer is starting to catch up now with Exotic Deer. Starting to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the first about, 3 minutes was definitely in favor of Penta, but they're catching up. Top lane, Faceless Void, getting pretty low. Can he get to jump out? He does.
And snaps a coil, but doesn't really do anything with a time walk. And has another salve available to get him up to some extra health points. Meanwhile, DNZ sitting up in mid. Alistar actually making his way there. They have vision of him. The defensive walls already working wonders for Kinguin. Now, Doom is not someone that you can kill here with the Shrine there, as well as the 2 points up in the Scorched Earth. This time they also have the Dust for the Sandstorm, so Dino, he will fall to the 3 heroes. Attack Radiant bottom jungle. You shouldn't really do that because it also shows to the other broadcasters.
Yeah,
so
I meant
watch out for that.
I meant to highlight. I forgot about the...
You do normal pings, but not these special pings.
Yeah. I forgot about the ping wheel.
Alright, smoke up here, Arman and Oliver. Try and make use of the fact that they should figure out, hey, they probably have some vision in their own jungle. Try and give them a false sense of security. Smoke past the ward. get a kill that way. But Kinguin kind of hold up next to the towers right now.
Yeah, you need to watch out when you're grouping up like this. You need to understand, like, if you're grouping up, are you applying the right pressure, and if you're getting the farm that you need on the other side of the map, or the other team is countered with the right farm. But it doesn't look like Kinguin is catching up on that farm or other part of the maps, and the goal of Penta applying this early pressure is working out, and they're bursting on this tower really fast. How many Edict? Two points in Edict right now, so
2 points in Edict, couple right clicks, and down half health. DNZ, a bit of trouble here, gets feared up with the Savage Roar, bursts it down with a puck, and now they get the jaunt up across towards Vengeful Spirit. Doom is online, so, well, that should be a dead hero right there. The call catches nice 2 more, Boogie and Armen, both. Stun coming out, only on 1. Armen will be right click down, Boogie with Surge away. The only one to live to tell the tale, so 5-man rotation towards mid. Very successful here in preventing further tower pressure and getting some extra money under Kinguin's belt.
Yeah, getting caught out a little bit ahead of there with DNZ. Then kind of their team fight just falls apart there. They don't have the level 6 on Sand King yet. Lestrike is still only level 4, approaching 10 minutes. Not where you want to be on the supports. So they might think about just trying to catch up a little bit here. Tome of Knowledge will be coming up. I think they probably give it to this. Even though Lester's level 4, they might want to accelerate. Just have that epicenter.
Yeah. Epicenter is blinking queued up, still ways away. Yeah. The plan to bring down these towers kind of being stunted by this heavy commitment from Kinguin, but the backup plan from Penta is still in the works. 9 is getting some more space to farm up top whenever the rest of his team's just barreling down the lane. He's gonna have his Mask of Madness soon as well. But in terms of net worth, he's still behind the Exotic Deer, behind Nisha on the puck. So that's eventually it's going to be an issue if this Lone Druid gets to farm up.
Yeah, I think this is a range Lone Druid game. Considering the heroes that Penta have, you want to try to keep your own heroes safe, keep far away. What are your thoughts? Is ranged or melee or bear druid?
I think it's a bear druid.
Bear druid game, really?
Not range. Sometimes, yeah. Because like you can even go axe if you're really worried. You have that split push potential. It's just so freaking strong. Also, if you win a single team fight, even if you win a skirmish, and the enemy can't fight you anymore, you just take buildings so rapidly.
There's an engagement top lane.
There it is. The stun connects on the Face's Voids, and the Static Storm to follow. He's gonna be dead. So Penta unable to return this around. So Kinguin making good use of the ultimates. The Glimpse back up towards the steps here. The Silence to follow. Not enough Surge available. And the Doom even. The heavy commitment there. DNZ coming through with the stun. Meanwhile, Oliver in the back. They finish up the Disruptor. Now being called up is Nisha. Right clicks him down here. Maybe not enough. Swap in. Doom the Darkseer will still fall. Katza will be right click down with another Burst Strike from DNZ. So they're starting to trade a little bit. Armen, early point into the Lightning Storm now. He still has a stun available. Trying to threaten it, gets silenced up. DNZ has to try and walk away, but gets denied by the neutrals.
9 coming in.
Not enough. There's a Chronosphere here. Where's the follow-up? Armen with the stun, as well as Oliver with the extra nuke. Got what they wanted here, so it's like, what, a 3-for-2 trade in the end?
3-for-2 trade, yes. Oh no, 3-for-3.
3-for-3. Oh yeah, Darkseer also ended up falling to Doom.
Died.
And Face's Void died initially there with the Static Storm. Now another Glimpse back in mid. Couple of right click. Katza connects with the roll as well as the stun. Boogie in a lot of trouble trying to search away, but he's being rooted. Last right clicks, damage over time from the urn is not actually enough, or is it the last tick? The very last tick. Even with that extra regen from the Helm of the Dominator. Not enough to sustain him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh man, I mean, Kinguin is playing pretty well here in terms of they had that early lane pressure, but they caught back like fairly nicely.
Yep.
Pretty impressive on their side.
Still only that one tier 1 tower dead on either side here, so Kinguin has not been able to turn it into objectives just yet, but with a Lone Druid on the field, it's only a matter of time. Let's go towards that Radiance now. And eventually, it doesn't matter if the tier 1s are still up. Like, if you win a team fight, if you just have that concerted effort, Then gonna take that down in the blink of an eye, as well as the tier 2s.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, I think Kinguin's strategy from like the base was supposed to be, this kind of the sort of 4 protect 1, and they're going to see our men just be a little cheeky here, bursting on this tower, pulling off his best Jimmy impression, staying in the trees. So they're going to be trading towers mid for top lane.
Able to finish it off. We're gonna give 9 the Ross hit, and he's gonna take it. One fun trade there. Bottom lane at the same time, though. DNZ has been pushing that one out too. There's another glyph available, but our men, well, unless Kinguin commits some zeros here, eventually it's gonna fall. And okay, Edict wasn't even used before the glyph comes out, so that tower is gonna die here. Make no mistake. And this is not worth it here, unless Kinguin can make a team fight out of it. Nisha does not have the blink, but he can still come in with a veil, do a hefty amount of magical damage. Boogie is sitting on the side, searching forward. The Doom comes out, plus the glimpse back onto Faces Void, into the Static Storm, so heavy commitment to bring down that particular hero. Back and back, DNZ just TPing out. Abort, they say. Abort. Stun will miss, but not the one from the Infernal Blade.
Yeah, it's just, so as I was saying before, this 4 protect 1 strategy that Kinguin was running, it's pretty strong just because they have the combinations, they have a lot of silences, a lot of controls, a lot of some burst damage, but a good amount of damage over time, which is sometimes can be to your detriment, but Leshrac has only 700 HP. Darkseer, he doesn't have his mech, he went for this Hooded Defiance, so 1000 HP, kind of tanky at this point. Sand King's kind of tanky, but Venge, it's still herself, I mean, she gets stats, but they're able to burst these heroes down pretty quickly, and they have the control.
Yep.
Penta needs more items, I think, than Kinguin does. And, at 15 minutes in the game, a lot of heroes don't have that many items, maybe 1 for the cores, and then supports might have half of 1. Yep. If they're doing really well, they have, a full item available. But Patos, he's fine. He's fine bottom. Our men?
Well, coiled up. Patos is there as well. Right click down. With the extra burst from the Waning Rift. And yeah, kind of face tanking these ganks right now. And especially if it hits someone like a Faceless Void who are looking towards to just reliably throw out the Chronospheres, kind of set yourself up to throw out the burst damage. But like Storm will actually miss here. DNZ stunned up during the glimpse, gets a burst strike off onto Magnetize on top of him as well. Another roll will eventually track him down, but that was all the space created. Roshan has fallen in the meantime, and that'll help out a little bit here. If you commit the same kind of ultimates here onto 9 as they did last time with the Doom and the glimpse of the Static Storm and whatnot, it's gonna come right back. The Chronosphere is gonna be on your face. Then Penta might have a way back into that particular team fight. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They, for now, struggling a little bit. But somehow the net worth is still only 1,000 in favor of Kinguin, despite all of these skills that they have.
Yeah, I mean, they were dealing with about, it was 1,000 gold in the other way of Penta, so they had to catch up a little bit. So it's still fairly close, but Kinguin has come back just a tiny bit now, and now in the lead. I think the idea to sneak in that Roshan was pretty good. They were getting run over in these team fights, so they just need a way that Faceless Void can get the Chrono off. And if that happens, DNZ was able to pick up his Blink Dagger, so that the damage inside the Chrono is there. So they're going to be. I think they feel more comfortable fighting.
You can get themselves an extra Centaur stomp here from the Helm of the Dominator.
Exotic Deer looks to be a little bit in trouble here in the top lane, but I think he knows. He's TPing away.
Yep. But unfortunate. Should be able to finish off the tower.
Dire are scanning.
Once they realize that they won't get any heroes here. Did they smoke on no water or something? Because there's a lot of vision from the Raiden side.
They might have smoked in towards the top Dire rune, and that would have been under ward, but I think that they weren't under vision. I'm not sure, but I think they were in that area when they smoked, so they saw them. Shadowblade pickup for Oliver here on the bench.
Yep.
Lots of attack speed
right now.
Top tower falling.
Not a mass TPs here. They don't want to give up mid just yet. Still very healthy. Katso. Rolling up to the high ground here, gets a stun off onto our man, but he turns things around with split off at the same time. The silence here to prevent the Chronosphere, but the rest of Penta all of a sudden turning up in force, and Katsu regretting his decision to not roll the other way. I'm pretty sure the swap onto Elastash, follow up with a stun, and yeah, he's resigned to his fate.
Oh my, the damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Penta, they have their own burst, they just need to be able to get it off. And so far it's been Kinguin who's been initiating, so they're the ones who get the quick picks first. Penta are the ones who have to run away, but it's all a matter of the angles that they need to find. But speaking on that, Nisha finished up his Blink Tag in the meantime, going fast towards that Lincoln Sphere as well. He's a force to be reckoned with on top of Patos here, who has his own Blink Daggers. So Kinguin, they are itemizing correctly here to deal with that.
Yeah, it's getting to the point of the game where both teams have their ways to get in and out of the fights. And it might, I think it's going to come more down to who initiates first. And I think whoever gets that first jump, it's going to come, that team will win the team fight. I don't think that they have just the, I mean, Kinguin might have the right tools to counter initiate. At the same time, Penta does as well, depending on which hero gets gone on. But at this stage of the game, I think whoever jumps first wins. Towards the late game, it goes the other way when both teams have strong initiation and counter initiation, just because, you know, heroes become a lot more tankier towards the late game. But I think in this early part of the game, whoever gets that early jump first wins. But Penta right now is smoked up. Who do you think they're looking for?
I'm just trying to bait out something here all over again with the creep wave. They just want the tower. The smoke can get the tower at this point, and anyone who's coming to dare defend it.
Yeah, Kinguin feels it. I mean, they have 3 heroes in the top tier jungle. They're just gonna leave it alone.
Still the Aegis available for another minute. Yeah, you have to let this go at this point. Try and get something else where you just finish up the Radiance on the berries, also hitting towers really hard already. It's a freebie for Exotic Deer in exchange. And Armin is not committing for this. He is preferring to stay in the back until just now, with putting the finishing touches on it with that Edict. Also have a catapult here. If they really want to, they can maybe go high ground, but with the Aegis about to expire, they're not going to take that chance.
And you're right. Lone Druid did decide to go with Bear Druid, not Range Druid. Getting that Radiance and the 250 health talent instead of the attack range, so.
Oh.
Points for Dragon Drop.
Not really, it's just the way people run it most days, and especially Exotic Deer. I don't think I've seen him go the range build ever since
I've seen some druids switch it up. They'll have different ideas on depending on the game.
Oliver with the invis, he broke the smoke on Nisha, so Kinguin
ships in the night
shouldn't find anything here. Up the tower. Oh, Oliver actually caught in the front, glimpse back after he snapped the coil, so he's still being stunned up. Right click down by the bear. Plenty of control to finish him. Alright, that might explain a few things.
Lag. Team lag. I lag team.
That feels so bad. Maybe he was disconnected already when he got caught out there.
Yeah, it feels, I'm not sure. I mean, he did try to go for the deny, but yeah, probably got a little bit of lag afterwards. Happens, always happens to the best of us, even with the best computers, with the best connections.
Well, if it happens in an elimination series in an official match, it's a little bit more than if it's just a pub game.
That's true. I know that it might also be a Dota thing as well. Sometimes the hero just blinks in and then your computer freezes for a second because of Dota.
Oh, result is okay, Armin. Patos doesn't even want to throw out the Doom, doesn't need it. But Chronosphere only catching the Earth, but should be a free kill. Nisha at the same time caught on the outside, Static Storm. Try and turn us around after here, there's no more Aegis, so 9 will take a spill. Penta Sports, they lost Oliver, and then they lost 2 more heroes, plus a big ultimate, and that's just an invitation for Kinguin. I was talking about it earlier. You have the bear, you win a team fight, you gotta take buildings.
Yeah, they can actually keep going here. The epicenter was actually cancelled for DNZ. Puck was able to blink in and silence. So they're actually missing 2 big ultimates right now.
Oh,
so they're going to take all these objectives, as you said.
No backdoor for this one, so Don't even need the creep wave for that. They will not be able to get to tier 2 because of it. The PENTA, they're gonna have to feel the pressure now. Their strategy has not led into as much of an advantage as I would have hoped for.
Yeah, they were able to get that first jump in and then just collapse onto PENTA. One by one. This Boogie looks to be in trouble. Dropping in that drink ball, but he's going to get the TP out.
Meanwhile, though, the glimpse onto DNZ.
DNZ.
Burst strike to the side. If you time it properly, you can actually burst strike out of the glimpse.
Yeah, you can. I think there exists, like, Sand King has some invulnerability frames.
Yep.
Because I think the game sees him as not existing. So it's possible to get out of this glimpse. It's very small, but I think that's how it works.
Yep. Top lane Leshrac next on the list. I mean, single Infernal Blade is down to half health from the damage over time. Another one will see him die despite the glimpse back. Oh, wait, what? Maybe not? I was very confused.
Yeah, the Infernal Blade had run out, and the next Infernal Blade from Patos that was just coming off cooldown as the TB completed.
Well, I think yeah, that was a panic glimpse.
Yeah, I think he would have been just fine, actually, if you just stay there and fight it.
Well, Armen can count his lucky stars that he got out of there alive, honestly.
Yeah, well, they're up by 6k, you know? You don't want to give up the kills, you just want to be sure. It's better to stay alive than to get those kills at that point. Support Leshrac, so you're not missing out on a whole lot.
And again, looking to group up. Do they have a smoke or something? Doesn't appear so.
Perhaps. No smoke.
Trying to
Blink
find
dagger
an angle
for
back
K-Sword.
and yeah. Max blink here on the side of Kinguin. 3 of them have picked it up already. Exotic Deer probably not going for that anytime soon, but it's also something that Disruptor might want to look towards if he ever got the money, but we'd rather have something like an axe. BKB on Patos here decides to throw out the Doom onto Vengeful Spirit, glimpse back here into a more compromised position, into the loving arms of the teddy bear. So Oliver falling immediately. Nisha catches a couple more, silence up on the Sand King. Boulder will be missed, but a couple of right clicks will still be enough to finish off the Sand King.
They're pinging mid.
Looking for more.
Went straight in for that push. So scary when you walk in like that and you just get doomed, and now that you have this bear that's hitting your towers.
Not sure what PENTA can do about that here. They do have the Chronosphere to work with. Nisha blinking in very deep. Oh, this Timok out the Static Storm coming in just a little bit too late. The glyph to the later tower damage with 2 heroes missing. Not sure that PENTA can actually still defend this. It's a very tanky bear, and it's only the first one. Exarchia has a secondary one available as well, and well, couple of right clicks, Armen with the damage over time, slowing him down, but vacuum back here again. But the recall will still be there.
Yeah, take the tower. Now the shrines are available for the taking on the side of Kinguin. I might even consider Roshan afterwards, maybe before.
I feel like a lot of teams have not put a lot of emphasis on taking down shrines after tier 3s in this patch. Maybe just because they're a lot closer, like a little bit further away from Roshan on the one hand, and closer to base on the other, so it's not that much value.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward in terms of outside of kind of this laning phase. It's kind of weird. The shrines before were kind of more centered around the mid lane, and that's why the mid lane was so important. As Penta is smoking up. But then they kind of separated out and they kind of made the map a little bit more even.
Got the might catch Nisha here, the Chronosphere comes through. A lot of time wasted though with that phase shift. So they're gonna get a couple of right clicks, followed with a burst strike, blocked by Lincolns, but well, you can't block the Split Earth. Gonna get their kill, throwing everything on him, but at the same time, top lane, they cannot turn this into a tower. The Creep Wave is all the way at the tier 3, but they're continuing to fight. Alistar just walking into them, expecting them to walk out and defend. But not before getting that secondary kill. Armen gets pushed back towards the bear, but they just want the towers, and they get it. 9. Exotic needs a bash here, pops the BKB so it doesn't get rolled anything, and the bash to cancel TP. Now Exotic being run down. Extra minus armor to work with, and the burst strike is DNZ's. Actually didn't TP back, he took the long way home on his tiny little legs. They get a couple of heroes all across the map, actually, because Katsu died all the way next to the fountain somehow? I don't even know how that happened. He was probably committing for a kill.
He was blinking in like pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and now Roshanna's back up with Aegis and Cheese in the hands of Penta.
Yeah, all in all, that was almost a 3,000 gold swing, and it's gonna be even more than that, closer to 4,000 with taking this Roshan here.
Very interesting series of events.
This damage is actually pretty crazy.
Okay, give the Chiefs over to Oliver here. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, now here comes the scary part for Kinguin. Venge is about to finish up her BKB, so it'll be a full 10-second BKB. And then, who is it? Nine has just revealed his BKB. So now it's still a pretty high level, 9-second BKB for him. And that all that control, the silences, and the damage that that Kinguin was throwing at Penta is going to get negated. It's going to be a lot harder for Kinguin to respond to that.
Yeah. Well, that burst from Puck in particular, even Partov's doing a decent amount here. Just with the Infernal Blade spam, as well as the Scorched Earth in the middle of a team fight, and also the Radiance from the Bear. As you said, all of that is going to be negated for a while. And Penta, they get that here to top, continuing to push here. They have some power of their own with the Edict coming back online. But only bottom lane's been pushed. That's a tier 2. They can feel very happy giving that one up at this point.
Yeah, Exotic they're still pushing top. He has the full Vlads and a Hyperstone onto this Bear, so the damage output from it is pretty strong. And also tanky, considering the armor from the plate mail and the Vlads as well. So they would have to commit a full regiment of heroes to take down that Bear. But this is the game that Kinguin will have to play for now, while those BKB charges are still high levels. They need to play the split push game, as they're going to be smoking up. Puck, I thought he was going to, or Itch was going to go for Boots of Travel to help with that split push game. But instead, Puck is, or Nisha is going to go for the Dagon build, try to go for more instant burst against the Heroes of Penta. What other items for Penta? Anything new outside of those BKBs? Yules for RMN?
This is not new. Blink Doom.
Oh.
Poor Oliver just gets mauled to death by the Bear in the end. Glimpse back onto somebody. Rest of Penta still coming in. Looks like they might want to try and fight. Still have that Aegis in the hands of Faces Void.
Yeah,
they're scrambling. They get Vacuum onto 3, Chronosphere onto 2. Can they focus on the Puck? Well, looks like might have enough damage to get the bashes here, but Chronosphere not lasting long enough. Sanking Constant the Static Storm cannot provide anything more. No epicenter or anything. RMN dropping very, very low. He'll be dying to Partos. It's all falling apart for Penta here. Boogie next on the list. 4-for-1 trade in the end. All they got was Katsu. And this might just be a death sentence here. You have the Creeper right where you want it. Barrel down his lane. And with the Exotic Deer and the Spirit Bear still online, as I say that, he's TPing out somewhere else. Back to base to recharge and then can be recalled. Back into the fray. Alright. Hypex forced out already.
Oliver got doomed there, and so he wasn't able to activate his BKB or use his cheese. So you got all that damage that's just completely negated out of the fight. Great chrono from 9, catching 3 heroes, but when you go for this Masked Commander's BKB build, you have no damage. Absolutely no damage. And 30 minutes into the game with the safe, or quote-unquote safe Link Void, you need to have them, be able to provide that damage. Or, provided that, they were thinking of having, they were going to have this Ion Shell, Faceless Void, plus Leshrac, damage, plus, Epicenter if they're able to catch a lot. But it's not happening. These team fights are way too chaotic. They're not comboing their heroes well to get that damage in. So maybe Penta needs to, I think, clean up just a tiny bit on how they're executing. And yeah, and itemize a little bit better here. Oliver going for that Lincoln Sphere. He knows that he needs to be that damage, that huge powerhouse that they can rely on to clean up these fights. And if he gets targeted out with that Doom, it's not going to be a good time for Penta.
Oh yeah, I mean, that fight felt so forced because they went in after Oliver has already gotten picked off, and as I said, he's the main damage source at this point. And he's also the one buffing up the Face's Void at this point with the Vengeance aura to make sure that 9 can even do more damage himself outside the Chronosphere. And he's going for the MKB now, which is super value with the changes to him.
Yeah, it's more reliant. It's kind of. I mean, I guess it's okay. I mean, you're gonna have percentage chance kind of RNG damage in a way. He's relying more on attack speed than he is on raw damage.
Yeah, exactly. So, Monkey King Bar, so for some heroes it's worse, and a lot of people have been crying about, oh, we don't get the damage anymore. But arguably for heroes like Face's Void, who want attack speed anyway, so you have the time lock that's more valuable. Plus the 75% chance is also not bad. Top lane. Well, there's the BKB. Who comes out in the end? The Chronosphere on everybody in the back, and DNZ this time gets the epicenter for the extra follow-up damage. Castle will fall first inside the static zone, but I don't really care at this point anymore. Fuck, trying to facial blink away, will be successful. Gets the coil out here. Patos, Bear, Alistar still sitting inside. Another burst strike, trying to focus on a Doom. Nice little vacuum, but no instant follow-up. 3 heroes down inside of Penta. Oliver buying back immediately. Right clicks onto DNZ, even inside that invis. Yeah, Park having that gem. Staying alive, but well, Alistar is finally being tracked down with a couple of time locks. The Bear, well, they should be able to get him too now. Staying out on front line for a little bit too long, so it's another 300 gold. Nice little Savage Roll though, and the recall. That's buying him enough space for that.
Oh my god.
Get away with that. It's a buyback from Penta on Oliver. Keep 2 of your cores alive. Yeah, they're gonna be absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, that was exactly the kind of fight that Penta needed. It was a 3-2 exchange, but they got the chrono on multiple heroes, following up with the less damage and the epicenter inside of it. It's exactly what you want. Venge, Oliver was instantly doomed, so he was kind of taken out of the fight, but he wasn't focused down like last time. Yeah, he was able to actually run around and deal damage. The problem, though, is that bottom lane.
DNZ should be dead here.
Good pick off.
That's for your impertinence.
Boots of Travel Day, and just very scary to play against this puck right now. High pick off potential for him.
Maybe online now at least.
MKB finished for 9.
Still so far behind here. If you look at net worth distribution, all 3 cores inside of Kinguin still very much on top, and the highest farm on Penta is 7k behind that lone druid. Bear's just getting bigger and bigger desolator now, so talk about push. These barracks are gonna melt whenever they get even close.
Yeah, he's actually even queued up the Mask of Madness onto the Bear as well. So, just if you leave this Bear alone in a lane, goodbye base.
Right. So Penta, they need the perfect team fight at this point. They need Oliver to not get doomed. And they need the Chronosphere on at least 2 or 3 heroes. So 9 has been finding those. That part is working well, but Lincoln Sphere far away here for Oliver to make sure that he is not susceptible to that instant doom.
Yeah, he has all the damage he needs. If he can stay alive, he'll absolutely tear through this lone druid. He can destroy the Bear pretty quickly just by himself. So he just needs to not get doomed, so he can get his stuns off, his howls off, and just be able to right click freely.
Release Penta, they still haven't lost Rax yet, which is a bit of a miracle, honestly.
I mean, they've been taking very smart fights. They've been fighting outside, very far away from their base. In most cases, the creep wave has been away from their towers, and they're able to kind of just repel any kind of idea for counter push most of the time after the fights. So, very smart fights that Penta's been taking, understanding where they need to fight. Now they picked up a gem, so they can actually get a hold of their own vision. Nisha, with his gem, has been kind of a nuisance, and cutting out the vision for Penta.
Yep. Oh, there was Garmin in that last fight too, but they should.
This is gonna be a fast Roshan.
Back in a couple of seconds. But Pathos just misses it. It's a bit annoying, so not scouted out just yet. Might be an opportunity for Penta to just try and come in, smoke up, find a good Chronosphere, but if they don't, then again. I just end up losing quite a few things. Puck, even with the Arcane Rune bottles. Aegon up to level 4 right now, so it's a massive amount of burst damage. And yeah, they're scouting with Roche first. Kinguin is there, but so is Penta, yeah.
No wards for either side, just, okay. Yeah, they just put a ward down. Kinguin just put a ward down, so they're going to have a little bit more vision on their end, or on that Roche pit. Penta is able to put this ward down.
Compare that to the old high ground ward that you used to have, but okay. Again in the park with a phase shift, wasting so much time. They need right clicks, they need follow up, they have it. Static Storm to turn things around, to Doom this time onto Boogie. Swap back out to relative safety here, gets glimpsed back into the frontline zone. Yeah, he should fall to the damage over time, and he will indeed. Still bashes every which way from Oliver as well, onto Oliver as well as from 9, and the bear there focus back on him. They cannot catch anyone else. They did get the puck in the end, so that's a gem on attack away from the hands of Kinguin. And Penta, yeah, they stay alive apart from that Doom target. Boogie even buying back because they realize, hey, Roshan is back up. Let's get that here on the back of that team fight. It's surprising that Kinguin is able.
I think that K-Star is thinking about jumping in here.
I mean, there's no Chronosphere. This is still decent for them to fight even without the puck, but then aren't really in a position to make that work. But the glimpse back into Boogie, who's looking for more Elsash. He'll be able to waddle on out of there. Maybe, maybe not though. 9. Oh, with a bash! Right clicks follow with DNZ. I spoke too soon. Get an extra hero, and now even after creep wave in mid in a decent position, the top lane is being pressured by Exotic there. Buyback already forced out on this disruptor. Static Storm back in a couple of seconds. They really want to commit high ground. They might feel like they have to at this point. Another blink. Burst Strike will not connect. Ooh, at least there was something here. Here's the Prosonation.
They need to be careful though, they didn't have to back up. The bear is now hitting their top racks.
If he's close enough, Exotic Deer doesn't have that axe. Stay at the high ground himself, but the racks will fall very, very fast. Unless Exotic Deer TPing back, they lost Oliver in mid though. Penta scrambling to try and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, they're trying to catch them here.
Oh, 9. What the hell are you doing? Another Chronosphere on the puck. This time no phase shift. Do you have the damage? Right clicks, Mask of Madness. Follow up with the bash. Setting up for the Earth Splitter, but well, he'll trigger the Aegis right now. Armen on the run. Cats
he does have the refresher shard. He can do another chrono.
Can he get it off though? He is feared up, rooted up. BK Beach. Can't even get the time walk off. So much damage there. Between Partos and the Lone Druids, not just on buildings, it also works on heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Exotic there he is.
This guy's a monster right now.
Yeah, an absolute monster. Now, he does have buyback. Still holding on to the refresher shots. The Chronosphere is still on the table.
Oh, they're actually gonna smoke.
He's gonna have to use it here, but without Oliver, do you really have the power? Well, you don't have a choice. Yeah. Kinguin. Wanna try and jump. Blink, Doom, just a fresher shot come out. BKB soon, sure, but we can't get the Chronosphere off for quite a while now. DNZ trying to just keep them away in the front lines. He doesn't make it back to the fountain, but he cannot win this fight for Steam. The secondary Doom onto Darkseer is also scrambling. Armen constant the Static Storm. They're keeping themselves alive because Kinguin is not committing Exotic Deer for these kills. Instead, they got themselves the racks that they were looking for so long. They'll lose the Doom. But hey, mission accomplished.
Very well played there from Patos winning on that fight. Able to blink in immediately onto the Void, and then dooming him instantly. Cancel out that second chrono. Oh. Getting the second one on boot as well.
9 eats 2 tomes. Almost at level 25 now, so that extra Chronosphere OE. How big of a deal is that gonna be? No pun intended.
I mean, he needs to catch more heroes. He's getting some damage, but he's going for another defensive item with the Lincolns, which he definitely does need with the BKB and Lincolns. Right now, he is the core Doom target. Oh. We're gonna see a hero swap.
Yeah, swap onto the Disruptor. He bought back earlier, so he's not coming back. Him and Doom down without buyback. They're gonna lose at least the tier 3 and at least the mid racks. Question is, can they get more? Armen is not part of this pushing party. He's somewhere else entirely, so missing out on the edict. But at this point, with 9 and Oliver right-clicking away, it's not the slowest push in the world.
Boogie?
What?
Alright.
That's a big old question mark. Space created, I guess. They get the second set of racks, and well, Armen is defending against top, so they actually have the wretched advantage. Chronosphere, Gadgets 2 on the puck. Nisha, no more bashes. And now 9 pops to BKB, but the damage has already been done.
No, need it.
Moving forward here. Just trying to catch more, but Oliver should be able to duck into the trees, but they want the kill. Epicenter being channeled up to swap back. DNZ cannot get close. BKB's there anyway. That was a bit of a mistake.
Cancel
and now
the
the cancel on the teleport. Oliver's not ultra. He needs stealth from DNZ now. Nisha coming in together with the bear in tow. They're gonna lose that here. Immediate buyback. Well, DNZ next on the list. He buys back too.
Yeah, he knows he has to buy back. There's no choice there. He's gonna have to buy back anyway, so might as well. Out. One thing to note is that Exotic Deer was not able to take the top racks. They were able to TP a couple heroes before he was able to finish and repel him. So, but Kinguin should know that Faceless Void does not have buyback.
Yeah.
And they should, I think they definitely should try to force these towers. They're actually going to go bottom, they're going to go top with the split push.
Yeah. They know that right now with the BKB on the bear, like Penta there, cannot really fight right now. The Doom coming through onto Boogie, that'll limit that even further. The BKB and Pathos refresh in a couple of seconds. He wants a secondary Doom. Armen glimpses of the Stack Storm, so he's down for the count too. And well, Penta, they got the racked advantage for a moment, but Kinguin, they were never going to stop this push afterwards.
There's no way to defend. And to note that it's not actually a BKB, it's the Talon, the Battlecry grants spell immunity.
Oh, okay. Didn't even know that was a thing, but sure. Yeah, Penta, they just lost the game with that turnaround potential, or attempt here, but from Oliver and DNZ. That didn't work out here. They lost their lives, needed to buy back, so didn't have these lives to throw at them with the following push. So, buildings will fall. They have a Chronosphere now. They're gonna try for one last fight, and there it is. They catch the bear, the catchers drop them, finish him off first. The bear second here. They actually gonna look for Nisha here, but it does get the orb to the side, and
he does have another battle cry.
McIntyre's doing a lot of damage here in the middle of that. Boogie dropping low and low. He will fall. So will the Void. GG is called. Penta loses game number 1 up against their rivals in Kinguin.
So good. Such a great game.
Yeah. Crazy strats, not quite working out in the early game for Penta, and then they just struggled to catch up for the rest of the game. That's what it felt like anyway.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. Very well played from Team Kinguin. The lane setup for Penta was pretty impressive. They were able to read the lanes and got the best advantage that they could. But usually when you have that lane advantage, you want to hold it, and so when the other team rotates to fix their lanes, you want to rotate also, or just rotate maybe a couple here so that you can keep that lane pressure going. But maybe that's where Penta fell. I don't think so. I think they were still doing pretty well in that laning stage, but they just kept fighting. They kept fighting into Team Kinguin when Team Kinguin was able to get their levels and their timings, and that's what just kind of propelled Kinguin to a very high advantage. They were able to get a couple tier 3 towers, open up the map. The BKBs did present a problem to Team Kinguin, but over time that's gonna fall. And I think Patos just played. I know Exotic Deer did just amazing catching up and getting all those kills and just being so tanky on his bear. But I think the Doom targets and how Patos played was actually really, really impressive. I was actually just as a Doom fan, I really like seeing Doom played and how it gets played. And I think Patos played exceptionally well this game.
Alright, we'll see whether Penta can make adjustments here in game number 2. Maybe go for something a bit more conventional in terms of lanes and not a Darkseer mid. And, well, notable to say that Kinguin, they've taken games off Penta before, but recently they haven't won series. So keep that in mind. We'll see what happens. But for now, we're going to take a short break. See you soon.